Well, folks, I got everything done. I think I I got all of my collard greens planted up. I got this apple here. This is one of the apples that was on the tree that everyone's been hitting up. They've been hitting this video a lot. I just put up today. It's about a tree that's in a city that I drive up this road, and some years it has a four or five trees that are different varieties. It looks like some are dark red, some are, but this apple here, I had to get out of my car and go over there and look at them, and I shot some videos. And this apple, I'm looking at the shape of the leaves, which is more like a circular leaf. Uh, all of them appear to be like a circle. My apple trees I have are more pointed and larger. These are not very large leaves compared if I compare to the apple trees I have. Thought this might have been a crab apple, but it's not a crab apple. And all the apples were around this size because it had a whole lot of apples on this tree. But when I tasted the apple, that is sweet. That is very sweet. And I picked the apple actually fell off when I was holding it. In the video, you'll see it when it drops off. And this apple here is sweet. It's not quite right. It could go a little longer, and but it's crunchy. It's got a good texture to it. I just don't know what kind of apple it was. So I'm really happy that I have apple trees in my area. But there are some small, tiny little berry-sized apples that I believe this is cross-pollinating with, along with the other, apples. Um, but it's just amazing that the neighbors that live in the area. This tree is on a strip in the middle of in the middle of the street, and the apples grow there. Not every year, but most years they are there. And I kept driving by and looking at them. And this time when I drove by, I got a good look at them, and I saw that they were apples. And I said, "Okay, no cars behind me." I backed 50 feet up in traffic. Shouldn't have did that, but I did. Backed up and pulled over, parked, got my camera out, cell phone, came over, took some pictures, and the pictures were absolutely incredible. Of showing all these beautiful apples, and now I wish now when I think back, I would have shot the ground because there's a lot of apples lying on the ground, lots of apples. Because when they get a certain point, the tree drops them. You know, it's what they call apple drop or fruit drop. But that was amazing to me today. I'm just totally fascinated by this because I have a tree in my yard, and I kept saying, "How come this tree produced fruit this year and it had no other tree to cross pollinate with?" And I did some reading, and it was saying what I've been reading is that some apples don't need another apple tree. And I'm thinking, okay, uh, but then I looked and I had two apple trees. Later on, I found there was two apple trees on my property that actually fruited. Um, but it's a strange looking apple. It's like a brownish apple, and I have to find out what that is because I know what I bought, but what they actually sold me could be two different things. Oh, hello, hello, food forest, permaculture. All right. I love it when people tune in and I only wish that YouTube had this thing where it was two way. I think that Google Hangout has that or something to that effect. But The great thing about being able to share this information is absolutely incredible. All right, I don't know. Just upload the video. Okay, I'm gonna check the video out. Somebody uploaded a video. I like to watch the videos um, because it's like a whole pool of information a lot of these gardeners have, and I try to learn as much as I can. Like tonight, I planted my tree kale, I planted my collard greens, I planted my what they call the kale, my regular kale. I don't know the exact name of it because it's been so long. I lost the labels and all, but it's a kale that I like. And what I do is I keep the seeds regardless of what goes on. I keep the seeds. I let them go to seed the second year, and then I turn around and keep those seeds. I do believe that a lot of my plants have already crossed with each other, so that doesn't bother me. If I have kale crossing with collards or collards crossing with, it doesn't bother me because it's all going in the pot. That's how I look at it. But yeah, kale is a superfood, and I'm gonna tell you something else about kale. Kale will always have a place on my property. It's just that simple. I made that up in my mind 5 years ago. It will always have a place. I don't care what I'm growing. It will always have a place. But I found that the best tasting kale is the kale that's grown in the fall as opposed to I used to grow it in the spring, and you could eat that, of course, but I like to kale chips. I've never tried yet. I am going to try it because so many people have been telling me about it. Kale chips, healthy food. Healthy food is the way to go. Um, but right now, I'm just basically cleaning up my yard. And when I clean up my yard, I don't do what some people do. I do not take uh, weeds and leaves and throw all that stuff away. I just don't do that. I cut it down and it goes in. It lays right on the ground. And people say, well, how can you plant and you have all this stuff laying around? Well, that's what I do. I leave it there. And I'll give you a good example. When I prune my trees, I cut the pieces up in 6-inch pieces and leave it at the base of the tree. I come back in a year or a year and a half, and all those pieces are gone. And I know where they went to. The biology in the soil ate them up. Yeah, yeah, that's what I would do would be to dry them in the oven. Chop and drop is the best. That's what I do. I learned it, and it was so simple. All I did was watch what nature was doing. Of course, I watched the videos, and they were only doing what was right. When I said, wait a minute, all these weeds are growing great. They're growing great. Now, why are they growing so great? Because they are adapted to this soil. They know how to survive in that particular soil. Um, and the when they go and they produce those large roots or those deep roots, I like that because weeds definitely have the skills to pull up the minerals from the soil. And why would I gather all that up and throw it away, put it in trash bags and throw it away? I see people do it, and I just look at it and I say, okay. But I used to take the weeds and throw them in a compost pile, and I said, wait a minute, why am I working twice when I could just simply take those weeds and put them, definitely put them in a pile right on the ground and let them sit right there and go right into the soil. And I have watched my soil go from a kind of like a off brown, off gray to a black soil just by using this technique of adding organic matter to the soil. Um, so yeah, I mean, I'm into that. I'm into that. Definitely into that. Anything. I mean, anything that that is that's alive. Like I said, my tree branches, cut them up, leaves, cut them. I used to have a guy that delivered 800-900 pounds of leaves to my property each year, and for what I guess he stopped doing that lawn service, but I used to use those leaves. I mean, I used to tell him, he said, "Where do you want the leaves?" I said, "Just dump them right there. Take your tarp that they were in and just leave them right there." I said, "I'll take care of the rest." And he would pull off, and I would have 5 feet, 4 to 5 feet deep of leaves, and I would just spread them out all over the ground and leave them all winter. Let me explain something. A lot of gardeners, including myself at one point, people garden backwards. They come out in the spring, uh, and they put down all these fertilizers, or they put down this organic or these man-made fertilizers. They put it all down in the spring and summer. Now, nature does it in the winter, fall and winter is when nature puts um, organic matter in the soil. So when I see nature doing it in the fall and winter, I gotta go, wait a minute. The trees drop in the fall, okay, and they lay there all year long. Well, not all year long, for about a month and a half, 2 months. And those leaves in the spring and summer, those piles of leaves you saw in the forest, you can't find them anymore. You cannot find them anymore because they're not there, because they're back into the soil. So the tree and the biology, excuse me, the biology grows off of that. And when they excrete their waste and they lived out their existence, they return vital energy back to the soil. The plants absorb it, and it's just a cycle. It keeps going around and around. That's what it does. So why would I want to do it any other way? If nature's done got it right from day one, and I'm trying to come out there and go to Walmart and Lowe's and Home Depot and buy these big $12 bags of they say it's organic fertilizer, and really sometimes it's just industry waste. Is what it really is, feathers and crap and all kind of stuff that they grind up. They got nothing else to do with it, and they the blood meal. I mean the blood meal, the bone meal. If they didn't sell it in bags, what else would they do with it? They would find a use for it, of course, but people use that in the garden. And the truth of the matter is, what is the cow eating? Uh, I mean, be quite frankly honest with you. I mean, if you want to break it all the way down, what is the cow actually eating? Whatever he eats, you eat. Whatever his diet lacks, what it lacks, your input into that garden, whether it be bone meal or blood meal or cow manure or whatever, it's going to be lacking as well. Trash in, trash out. Um, so I'm thinking that if you want to get a really good fertilizer, you're going to have to rely on leaves, and you're going to have to rely on uh, any uh, any animal that's eating a very good diet, like they did back in the old days. The workhorses that worked in the fields ate a very good diet because they knew that horse had to be strong enough to pull that plow and to pull those materials around. He could not have a diet that lacked in uh, nutrients that his body needed. Nowadays, they feed their cattle and pigs and sheep a poor diet, and they do that to save costs. For the most part, they do that. But now some farmers have went back to natural grazing and that sort of thing, so that these cows and these sheep and these animals can eat a balanced diet. So that they actually went back to nature is what they did, because they realized the way they was doing it was pouring grain and all that in there and letting the cows eat that stuff, and after a while they started having issues with it. So long story short, if you get a very good diet for your garden, which one of those is leaves. Weeds are also a very powerful thing to put in your garden because weeds, like as I said earlier, they contain uh, energy or nutrients that they pull from deep down in the soil because they have the root structure that will go down there and do what it needs to do and pull that stuff up. So when you cut it off and leave it on the surface, you're doing nothing but bringing it to the surface. That's all you're doing. Now, another way that happens is cattle will eat weeds, grasses, chew it up. They'll excrete that waste along with their stomach content right onto the ground. So they're actually chopping and dropping the stuff for you. When you have cows and horses grazing, if they're chopping and dropping for you, they're just eating it in their stomach, goes through. Um, uh, when it comes out, it has the biology of the cow, the weeds, and everything, and it hits the ground, and it goes right back in the ground. So when you chop it off, you all you did was eliminate the cow. When you chop it off, those weeds hit the ground, sit on the ground, and go right back into the soil. I'll give you a good example. Some of the cucumbers I grew this year were some of the biggest cucumbers I've ever grown. Reason, the soil is improving. The soil is improving. The soil is improving, is what's happening. And the only way to improve soil is yeah, absolutely natural way animals digestive system will definitely be added to your nutrients that you're adding to your plants. Plants eat matter. If it was alive once, whether it walked on four legs or it had roots, plants or two legs, let's get real with it. Plants use that energy to grow. They eat that biology to survive. And so I love it. I love it. Once I discovered that, there was nothing else that they could do to me at the box stores where they would say, "Oh yeah, this fertilizer here. If you get this is 17, 17, 17, or this is 10, 10, 10. Yeah, it'll make it stuff." I know better now. I was not putting that in my soil to kill the biology in my soil. For what? I'm not going to do that. I know that putting man-made chemicals in your soil yes, it will grow plants faster. Yes, it will grow plants big. But over the long run, you're doing something very nasty to your soil's biology. And it will catch up. It will catch up. It will change the health of your soil. Another thing that'll change the health of your soil, and I say it, and I hope I'm not offending anyone. People today still till. They still till. They do it, and they like a nice clean garden. They loosen the soil up. I did that at one time. I bought a brand new tiller and used it for a number of years and watched my soil go from it was already poor, and I kept tilling it, and it would turn it, and I would till it more and more each year, and it would get fluffy. It would be fluffy. I put the plants in the ground, and then it would rain. And when it rained, I started noticing this crusting on the soil, top of the soil, and uh, the the crusting got worse. The soil would get hard. It would create these like a crust that would the plant had a hard time coming up through it. And I said, wait a minute, what happened to the fluffy light soil I had when I tilled it? Well, you have clay soil. Yes, the tiller busted up the soil about 8 inches deep. You put the plants in there. The rain comes down and packs it all back down again. So I said, something's not right here. And when I started, uh, when I got rid of the tiller, excuse me, that's when my soil, also that helped my soil improve. When I got rid of that tiller. Um, People look at my garden. Sometimes they look at some of the pictures of my garden. They say, "Well, how can you got all this grass and weeds around?" I said, "All I do is pull the weeds back from my plants. That's all I do. Pull them back so that I can grow what I need to grow. And as long as I got it back 12 to 15 inches away from that plant, uh, the weeds are not going to bother that plant too much. And on top of it, it leaves the insects a ton of food to eat, and they stay away from my stuff that I'm growing. This is as the years went on, I learned that I now go out and onto my property. I never see bug bites. I'm not a, if I saw bug bites on my stuff, I would know something's wrong. But I never see the bug bites anymore. All right, thank you, ladies and gentlemen, or gentlemen and ladies. This has been the Morning Gardener Show, the late version of it this time around. I said I was going to come and give you some information, and I did because once I got all my stuff planted out, I just finished planting, like I said, my kale and everything, and the collards. So now, and now everything looks good. You know, thank you very much.